Welcome to another edition of Shelby This Week. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you. Shelby Township officials will join forces with Consumers Energy to discuss a pipeline in the area. Veterans were celebrated on the municipal grounds for the annual ceremony. If you ever get pulled over, there are important rules for you to follow. We speak directly to the police department. We have all these stories and more on this edition of Shelby This Week. Residents are invited out to attend a town hall meeting regarding a proposed Consumers Energy pipeline project. The meeting will be on November 14th at 7 p.m. It will be in the Shelby Township Municipal Building boardroom. Shelby Township's attorney Rob Huth, along with Consumers Energy project team members, they will discuss the pipeline labeled as the South Oakland-Macomb Network Pipeline Project. The proposed route would include the corridor between 23 Mile and 26 Mile. Anyone with concerns or comments regarding the project is asked to attend. The township personnel will be on hand to discuss the township's role overseeing the construction. A separate meeting will be held in the future to address project design topics. If you have any questions, they ask that you call the Shelby Township Community Relations Department at 586-254-7130. The Shelby Township Police Department needs your help in identifying someone. Since September, the coin machines at Grand Prix Auto Wash were broken into 3 times. Money has been stolen from the machines and the damage to the equipment has caused thousands of dollars. If you know the man pictured, the police are asking you call Detective Young at 586-731-2121, extension 467. Men and women who served the country were celebrated and honored at the Veterans Memorial Site on the township grounds.
The Veterans Day celebration came back to the municipal grounds after a 4-year hiatus, featuring a patriotic concert by Music Maker Studios.
So we decided to bring the Veterans Day celebration back this year after a couple of years because we had received such great support in regards to the run that there are a lot of people that necessarily couldn't run but still wanted to be able to show their support in their time. So we thought, what a better way to do it than to bring back the celebration.
Following the celebration was the Veterans Day ceremony, held to remember and honor those who have served in the armed forces. The honored speaker was an Indian Army veteran who showed his support to America's military.
Being an ex-serviceman myself, I understand the risks you veterans have taken to keep America safe, and I also understand the hardships, sacrifices, separations your families had to undergo when you served, and the difficulties you faced when you got back to the mainstream civil life. But you should be proud that you have served the finest of the organizations and the most diverse organization, because every state, city, township has representation in military.
This year's Veterans Day was special in that it was 100 years since the armistice of World War I, one of the most grueling wars American soldiers had to endure.
The guys I know, I don't know, but what I heard about them, that their feet were frozen inside them trenches, into them ice blocks. They fought with bayonets. It took a lot of hardcore people to fight like that. That's hard, dirty fighting. So I really can't say too much about the war, except God bless them guys for that dirty fighting that they had to go through. And I hope we never have to fight like that again.
Thanks to all veterans and their families for their great sacrifice to our country. For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
You can catch the ceremony in its entirety on Shelby TV.
Yay, it worked. Good job, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Before the Veterans Day ceremony, everyone was invited to run with the veterans in the annual 5K.
This race really means a lot to Shelby Township because we support our veterans a lot here. We have a really big veteran community here, and everybody loves to be able to come out and support them, whether it's doing a race with them or even just providing a small donation for the Veterans Memorial that we have here on campus. It helps everybody feel together and connected, and it's a really great support system. All of the proceeds from our run will go back to our Veterans Memorial, whether it's for general maintenance and upkeep activity or new projects or memorials that we want to do in the future, 100% of the proceeds do go back to our memorial.
The path took runners through the township grounds, including Maystacker Park. There were walkers and runners of all ages participating for a great cause.
I feel honored, tell you the truth. First 40 years out of the service, nobody ever thanked me for my service, but now it's people do thank you, and it's important, and it makes me feel good.
I've done every one of these races on the veterans race, and I always tell my wife, I said, I like doing it because I know I'm still alive. I just turned 70.
Many people at the run knew they wanted to spend this day to remember all those who spent time serving for the country. Nobody ever wants to get pulled over, but in case it ever happens to you, Stacy Sansatera has advice on how to handle it.
Being pulled over by a police officer can be daunting for all of us.
I think a lot of times people instantly panic. They feel like they're the ones that are getting singled out, and they come to a stop, or they'll slow down significantly where it's impeding traffic now.
There are several things that a driver should consider to make this nerve-wracking experience go smoothly.
Driver, pull in the parking lot.
Our goal is to stop cars at a strategic point where it's going to be the least amount of interference with the normal flow of traffic. And when we have people obviously stopping abruptly in the middle of the roadway, it can impede traffic and it can cause a lot of potential accidents.
Once you have found a safe location to park your car, be sure to turn off the ignition and wait for the officer to approach.
Ideally, I would prefer that the driver just calmly sit in the driver's seat, stay in the car, and just keep your hands on the steering wheel. When we approach the vehicle, we can give you instructions to reach for your insurance and registration or your driver's license, but we don't want people to frantically looking for this information while we're approaching the car or immediately pulling you over, because we don't know who you are. You could very easily be a parole absconder or someone that may seriously want to hurt us.
And remember, if you are a CPL holder, you have a duty to inform the officer.
The first words out of their mouth, as my expectation, should be that I'm carrying a firearm, I'm a CPL holder. And I feel like a lot of CPL holders are actually pretty good with that. And I recommend, if you do lawfully carry a firearm in a vehicle, keep that CPL license immediately behind your driver's license, and that way, as a reminder, if you got pulled over, you can let the officer know, hey, I'm carrying.
Sergeant Dowdy emphasizes that while getting pulled over, it is not the time to argue with an officer.
That's the whole purpose of court. You go to court when you feel like you did not rightfully receive a ticket, and if you don't agree with the officer's actions, it's not safe to be arguing with them on the side of the road.
And an important reminder for all of us when driving on the roads.
Please slow down. A lot of officers, there are thousands of officers in this nation that have been killed from pulling over a person and getting hit by a car that's passing, not paying attention.
While being pulled over by a police officer, using common sense and good manners can go a long way.
The best part of going through the whole process of a traffic stop is just using open communication, and that starts with that conversation with the officer. You tell him, and he'll give you instructions on how to move forward.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
The Shelby Township Police Department wants to remind you it is very important you always carry your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance at all times. And also remember, if an officer is pulling you over, it's always a good idea to turn down your music. Still ahead on Shelby This Week, get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday with some local bake shops selling pies. It will be here before we know it. The Jingle Bell Run will take place again this year. We have all the details on where you can sign up.
Are you interested in taking care of a reptile or amphibian at home, but not sure how to take care of them? Why not adopt one at our Burgess Shadbush Nature Center? One-year adoptions are $25 for a small animal and $50 for a large animal. You'll get an adoption certificate, and the adoption fee will help cover vet care and expenses for your animal. You're encouraged to come in regularly to take care of your animal. For more information, you can call the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center at 586-323-2478 or contact them at naturecenter@ShelbyTWP.org. You can visit the Nature Center yourself at 4101 Riverbends Drive off of the Ryan Road entrance of Riverbends Park.
When you think of Thanksgiving dinner, there are quite a few food staples that come to mind. But one in particular comes after the big feast, and that is the pie. Bake My Day operates 2 bakeries, including one right here in Shelby Township. While their staple is cheesecake, another fan favorite is their pies.
Our pies, we make everything from scratch. The Dutch apple pie we make is also very nice. It's got a very nice streusel topping on top. Our apples are it's a very moist pie, and we put a lot of cinnamon in it. It's got a very nice flavor. The dough is really flaky. And the pumpkin pie is really good too. It's got you can really taste the pumpkin when you bite into it. And it's really good. It's homemade. It's made from scratch, and a lot of people like it.
If you are up for the challenge, Tony has some tips for you this holiday season as you're making your own pie.
One of the most important things to do is you have to make sure all the ingredients are very cold. You know, everything has to be refrigerated before you mix all the ingredients together. Whatever you can do, like anything fresh is better. Like if you can make your own, use fresh pumpkins instead of the canned ones, it's always a better idea to do that. And it's all about the spices. You have to use pumpkin spice if you can, nutmeg, and if you can find good quality organic spices, that makes a really big difference too.
With ingredients in hand, it's time to start baking.
So we're gonna have to check on them in about maybe 25 minutes or so at 350 degrees.
If pies aren't your dessert of choice, well, Bake My Day has other options to satisfy your sweet tooth. From their banana bread to their homemade macaroons, there's something for everyone. So don't forget to visit them this holiday season for all your pies and desserts. Another Shelby Township business is preparing for the upcoming holiday with some of their signature pies. We visit Ackett's to see what they are baking up this Thanksgiving.
We're preparing to sell a lot of pies. We'll sell probably about 2,000 pies just at this location that week.
This time of year, Ackett's is buzzing with customers, and with that many pies going out during the week of Thanksgiving, people visiting the store have a lot of options to choose from.
We have over 40 different flavors to choose from, including we have cheesecakes too. The pumpkin pie is definitely the #1 bestseller for Thanksgiving, and our Michigan four-berry pie is always our bestseller year-round. So those are probably our 2 biggest ones for Thanksgiving, and then my personal favorite is the French silks.
With all those choices, it might be difficult to leave the store with just one pie. But if you end up buying different kinds, just know you're buying locally.
We're very local. All of our ingredients are from Michigan. Everything's handmade. We use the best quality ingredients we could find, and we are very consistent with our flavors and everything.
Now, if you're looking to do all the baking this Thanksgiving, well, they can help you out.
We do sell our pie crust, so it makes it very easy to, you can come in and buy our pie crust and take it home to use that. You know, I think the main important part of your pie is your pie crust, so get a good one.
And it's easy to place your pie order because before you know it, Thanksgiving will be here.
You can either come into our store, give us a call, or you can do it online too. Doing it online is very easy. Everything has to be prepaid for, so you're guaranteed your pie. We will be taking orders, throughout the week too, so you'll have a lot of pies to choose from for customers that just walk in without an order.
One of the biggest shopping days of the year is right around the corner, and as you prepare for the Christmas season with gift buying, you may want to stop by the Packard Proving Grounds on Black Friday for a little taste of the holiday season. On November 23rd from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., the Holiday Heritage Fair will welcome everyone in for a celebration of holiday traditions and an artisan gift marketplace. From horse-drawn rides to craft making, there is a little bit of something for all ages. Santa will be there to take pictures with families. There will also be over 50 local artisan gift vendors. There is a $5 parking fee required. For more information on the event or to reserve your parking spot, visit hhf18.com. Celebrating its 9th year in the township, the Jingle Bell Run will be here before you know it. On Sunday, December 16th, the 5K Run Walk will begin at 9 a.m. The race will start and end at the Shelby Township Senior Center located on Van Dyke. This year, the trail is brand new and will be cleared of snow and salted as well, according to race director Michael Ward. Last year's Jingle Bell Run raised $13,000 for many local charities. This year, Ward hopes to make more money to support organizations like Macomb County Special Olympics, Cattail Acres, and Penricton Center for the Blind Children. If you register before December 1st, the fee is $25. To sign up, visit eastsideracingcompany.com. Coming up next, two Rosies visited the Senior Center to talk about their experiences working during the war. And a Shelby Township boy got the surprise of a lifetime at his school assembly.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
The Shelby Township Gardeners Club has been hard at work all season with many events and, of course, keeping the grounds at Heritage Gardens looking beautiful. When the members are not out tending to the grounds, they are learning about how to become a better gardener and also about our planet. Their most recent meeting was all about the Great Lakes. As a wonderful resource of water we have surrounding us here in the state of Michigan, the lecture was of importance to club members. They brought in hydraulic engineer Melissa Kopfrieder, who studies the effects of bodies of water. A large amount of people have interest in the water because it directly impacts them. Kopfrieder looks at all the water levels and how they change in a span of 6 months.
They are an absolutely wonderful resource, and they are an international resource. So there is an international agreement in place to protect and resolve disputes amongst U.S. and Canada. And the second thing to understand is that we don't control the water levels. We can have an impact and monitor and regulate at 2 locations, but ultimately it's up to Mother Nature on what happens with the water levels. So we monitor the hydrologic factors such as runoff, precipitation, and evaporation.
This lecture was open to the public, just like all the Gardeners Club events. They are always looking for more people to get involved. If you are interested in joining them in their next event, visit them online at shelbytwp.org/gardeners. These were the women who kept the country together and still operating as the men went off to war during World War II. While the iconic image is still used today, the work these women did meant so much more to them and, of course, this country.
We just did what we could and as much as we could, and to help get our boys all back.
To help the country to win the war. That was our main aim, to win the war, help the boys overseas.
For many of these women, this was the driving force behind them going to work in these factories. For Marie, this was her very first job.
My parents had a farm up in Tyre, Michigan, and so I was just a farm girl. I'd come in to help the war effort, and I turned 18. I came into Detroit, and I got my job.
Between 1940 and 1945, the percentage of females in the workforce increased close to 10%, and by the end of 1945, nearly 1 out of every 4 married women worked outside the home. Working in various factories, these women were more than just riveters.
And not only did they do things back then, but they continue to do things now. And what I mean by that is the whole reason why I called my chapter WOW, other than they were women ordnance workers. Women ordnance workers worked for the government, and they did a lot of the bomb assembly, the ammunitions, the tank assembly, that type of stuff. The lady behind this is the one that worked so hard for all the men that were gone. Yes, that was part of an empowerment, but it was a patriotism thing that she did. It had nothing to do with empowerment. And that's what I really want kids to understand, is that they were so honored by family and country, which is something sometimes we're missing today.
And that iconic image, still used in this day, had a completely different message behind it.
But the misconception is that today they're using this poster as an empowerment symbol, meaning a lot of, especially than other nationalities too, they love this because they want women to be empowered. But what the Rosies from the 40s did had nothing to do with empowerment. It was for God, country, and their family. It had nothing to do with empowerment.
And while many of these women came together from all over the country and from many different backgrounds, they woke up every morning and went to the factory for one purpose only: to win the war and make sure that the men they loved so dearly were returned safely to the United States. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Rosie! Rosie! The Ravener!
A Shelby Township boy got the surprise of a lifetime. Second grader Nate Morphew thought it was just another monthly school assembly honoring students with academic certificates and citizenship awards. As the assembly was coming to an end, the principal of the school called up Nate for a special citizenship award. Instead of the principal presenting it, Nate turned around and saw his mother, Hope, who was in the Air Force. She has been serving the country in the South Pacific for the past 6 weeks.
A lot of times, we get a lot of credit for what we do, but our families get forgotten. Like I said, 6 weeks doesn't seem like a long time to us adults. To this little guy right here, it was indescribable to him. To my 3-year-old daughter, she doesn't understand him. Mom went to work one day and I didn't come home. And they really sacrificed a lot. Missed birthdays, and a lot falls on my husband to do everything.
Nate's birthday was the day before the assembly. He wanted so badly to celebrate the special day with his mom. So you can imagine the excitement and emotion when he turned around in his school gym and saw her standing there. Hope said she has served in the Air Force for the past 24 years and has made the ultimate decision to retire so she can spend more time with her family. That's all we have for this edition of Shelby This Week. Remember, you can always watch us online or on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. This past week, we stopped by the Shelby Township Parks, Recreation, and Maintenance Department's Mother-Son Dance event. Here are some memorable scenes from the dance. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.
Today